Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, I have discussed about how can put that URL link in your route, right? So right now, if you want to go to that about page, you can access your about page, that is a contact page, and then our home page. So now in this video, I want to discuss about the database because we will create one dynamic site, right? So for the dynamic site, every data should be comes from our database. So friend, right now I'm using that localhost XAMPP. And with the XAMPP, I have already run our Apache and the MySQL, right? So when you install that XAMPP, as I told you before, if you go to that localhost and if you run it and into the localhost, you can see it's now redirected to our localhost and the XAMPP. And with the XAMPP area, they have the another database related, another option, that means another tools as a PHP MyAdmin. Now open it. And into the PHP MyAdmin, here you can see that is our database structure. So right now that is our database server. So that is our database server, and I'm using that database that is server version 10.4.13 and the MariaDB. Okay, so right now that is our database. So here I want to create one of the database for our this project. So if you want to create new database, there is an option for the database. Now just open it. And here you can see friend, I have already lots of database for my different type of project. So here that is very much relevant in cPanel. Into the cPanel they have also another option for the PHP MyAdmin. So right now I'm using that SQL server. So if you want to create any database, there is option for the create database. So now I want to create one of the database and I name it as a Laravel 8. Okay, so this type of one of the database name I want to add as a Laravel 8. And here you don't need to do anything. I want to create simple one of the database, and now I click as a create. Now you can see friend, our database is now successfully created. So now we have to configure it. That means we have to create one of the connection with our database to our project. So if you want to create that connection, you have to go to your project directory. Into the project directory, they have one of the file as a .env. So to the .env here, as I told you friend, that is our app URL. That means right now I am working with the local host. When you deploy this project to the web server, here you have to put your web, that means your domain name. And also they have the another option for the DB connection. You can see right now I'm using that MySQL and the DB host, that is actually by default one of the hosts. So if you want to add that local host, you can add that local host. There is a DB port and there is a database name. So by default, when you install Laravel, Laravel actually provided this type of one of the name as a Laravel. So right now I have already created one of the database name. Here we have to add our this database name. So I have created one of the database name as a Laravel 8. So now I copy it, and now here I updated our this Laravel, that means our database name. Okay friend, and then the DB username by default, that is a root, and there is a DB password. Right now in my XAMPP there have no password. So right now I don't have any password. For the reasons here I make it as a null, and there is our username, root, and then the database. So that is the three things will be needed. So here we successfully added, that means we successfully create a connection. Now if you click as a save all, I click as a save all, and now if you open it and now if you refresh it, so if it is running well, that means that's already created the connection with our database perfectly. In our next video, I want to discuss about how can install that Laravel default authentication system. So when you install that default authentication system, then we can actually able to access our logging and the register that user. And friend, I hope you will like it very much. Everything is ready-made. You have to just install it. So how can do that work? In our next video, I will show you that things with a live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.